Now, live from Kansas City, here's First Coast News Sports Director Chris Porter.
Hello and welcome to this Friday night edition of Ready to Roar. I'm Chris Porter, live here in Kansas City, where we are now less than 24 hours away from the Jaguars and Chiefs clashing in the divisional round of the playoffs. Our Jaguars left Duval this morning and arrived here in KC this afternoon. Now, the team did not come out to the Bold City Brigade playoff tailgate party tonight at Johnny's Tavern, but Hall of Famer Tony Boselli and hundreds of Jags fans did. You could hear Duval ringing throughout the place all night. Everyone believing the home team will take care of business tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 right here on NBC 12, including one fan who stood out from the rest.
Yeah, man, I rolled with it when we started, late in the season. Rolled with it against the Titans, won the AFC South. Wore it again for the Chargers game on the, comeback. So I was like, man, we got to carry the momentum going here, into Kansas City.
It was always the Jags is a slogan that I heard 100 times or more at tonight's party. Our Jaguars fan, or one, received some special game-worn cleats. Andrew Badillo live to tell us about it. Hey, Andrew.
Chris, how are you? Yeah, Jeff Graham has been collecting Jaguars game-worn cleats. Enough said right there. Fans in Kansas City are absolutely ready for the game tonight. And Dewey Wingert, I heard, his dad was actually down at Johnny's Tavern tonight for the watch party, and those were fans who were hanging out with him. And this story involves Dewey Wingert, of course. His cleats were collected by a big-time Jaguars fan, and they are sort of his prized possession in this season, where it was always the Jags have become the moniker for this team on their run to the AFC divisional round. And that fan actually reached out to Dewey on social media on a whim, saying, hey, love you how you play, can I have your cleats?
It was just kind of conversation, go Jags, we appreciate what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, love that hit, let's go, it's game day, things like that. And he responded. One day I just got the message that I've got cleats for you, and I couldn't believe it. He showed up at the bar and handed them to me, and I was about shaking.
Yeah, and Graham actually, ironically enough, Chris, we ran into Graham in the elevator of our hotel. He is amped and ready to go, as everyone is here in Kansas City. You're going to be hearing Duval in every corner of Kansas City. We're live here at Kansas City Live. Andrew Badillo, First Coast Sports. Chris, back to you.
Thank you, Andrew. And whenever we hear Duval, we know that is a good thing. Now, we know the temperatures are going to be in the low 30s at tomorrow's Jaguars-Chiefs game at Arrowhead. There's even a chance that we could see some snow during the game. Weather is always a factor in game planning for coaches, but especially in the playoffs when chilly temperatures and snow can be a thing. Jags offensive coordinator Press Taylor says he talked to his players about the weather, emphasizing the importance of protecting the ball.
We do whatever we can to emphasize ball security. And really, that's just going through our techniques and fundamentals. And then within the game, you kind of assess how the surface is, how guys are holding up with maybe things you want to do. I know one time we talked about the weather in here. We talked about if there's actually weather falling from the sky, sometimes that will change even your thoughts on some of the ball handling things you have in your game plan. Just because the ball gets wet, or there's rain coming down, your gloves get wet, different things. So it's kind of assessing what the field is like, the conditions are like within the game of if you're going to feature some things or not.
Speaking of weather, if it does snow at tomorrow's game, advantage Jaguars. Meteorologist Lauren Rautenkrantz up with us tonight to explain.
Well, I'm sure by now you have seen this forecast for Kansas City as we whisk away our Jags. They'll be bringing the heat because the wind chill out there definitely not going to be warm. Feeling like the freezing mark all game long, and even sub-freezing as we are ending off that game. The big question is, are we going to be seeing the flakes fall in Arrowhead Stadium? There is a good chance, and we could even see it mix with rain earlier on in the day until those temperatures drop to the freezing mark or below. But don't worry, if we see the snow, our Jags win in the snow, okay? Did my research, and it looks like the last time they played in snow was December 16th, 2007, when we pulled out a win 29-22 against the Steelers in Pennsylvania, so it was an away game. We played in the snow. By the way, we're wearing the same color combo for jerseys this time around as well. So I think there are so many good vibes in our favor. Kickoff that day was 34 degrees. Fourth quarter was 27, and we had wind chills in the teens. So don't worry, the Jags can play and pull out a victory in these unfavorable conditions, some would say. How's it looking on the futurecast? Well, it looks like the precipitation pulls toward the Missouri border as we head toward kickoff time, but the flakes will likely pick up as we head into the evening and overnight hours. Folks staying in Kansas City, if you have family, friends out that way this weekend, the good news is this is a quick system that rolls on out of there by mid-morning Sunday at the latest, so traveling home should be no concerns. Meteorologist Lauren Rautenkranz, First Coast News. Go Jags on your side.
Thank you, Lauren. Whenever you make the trip out to Kansas City, you're always told you've got to try out their barbecue, and there are a lot of barbecue restaurants in this area. I'm told 128 to be exact. I made a stop at the legendary Gates Barbecue Restaurant and sat down with their owner.
Let me take you inside.
I like the sign here, entering the smile zone.
Yeah, we don't, no attitudes coming in here, okay?
I got it,
We want you to enjoy the barbecue, so that's what we want you to do.
George Gates, the owner of Gates Barbecue, took me inside its Brooklyn location here in Kansas City.
How may I help you?
This is the oldest open location, established in 1959, a building built by hand by his father, who was a bricklayer by trade. So how did your family even get into the barbecue business?
Well, my grandfather was a railroad man. He worked as a porter and in the dining car on the railroad, the Rock Island Railroad, matter of fact. And so he knew it was a glass ceiling there. You only go so far in that position as a black man in America at that time. So he knew he had to do something else. He knew a guy that had a business, a barbecue business, restaurant business. He went into business with him. That lasted for about a week. And my grandfather was kind of a strong-headed person, so he and the guy fell out.
So his grandfather bought the gentleman out for $500.
You know, we're going into our 5th generation, 75 years in October, last October. So yeah, this is a family tradition.
With so many restaurants, barbecue businesses in this city, what separates you from the competition?
The way we eat barbecue. We don't smoke, we don't cook. A lot of barbecue places in town don't barbecue like we do. There are some that do, but we do the old-fashioned way, the old traditional way. We put heavy wood in the bottom of a pit, a brick pit, no thermostats, no thermometers, just a feel and an art for cooking.
Gates says this man, Arthur Pinkert, the business's first cook, taught them how to barbecue.
He was a heartfelt barbecuer, so it's hard to teach somebody an art and not just smoking, not just sitting to 350 and walking away.
Beef nooner, put it on bread to go, please.
Beef nooner up to stay.
Thank you, sir. Now
Got
you're
one working to
me
go.
a turkey nooner to stay.
Making good barbecue is only one part of the operation. Across the street, Gates makes their own sauces and seasonings.
And we ship it out to the supermarkets, mainly in the Midwest, but across the country. We've been making our sauce with the same recipe, basically, since 1946, when my grandfather and father started playing with the ingredients and making it to the taste that we have now. Well, we call it a Gates flavor.
When I hear you say this business has been around 70+ years,
yes.
There has to be a key ingredient to success. What has it been? How have you guys been able to sustain and continue to thrive decade after decade after decade?
Product and consistency. You see the people in here today, if it's not correct and how they tasted last week, they're gonna say something, or they're not gonna come back.
I noticed when we pulled up, it was a shortly before 11 a.m. As soon as that clock struck 11, people were at the door coming in.
Yeah, we lucky with that, you know what I mean? We lucky, we blessed with that.
By the way, the barbecue is good. Mr. Gates told me they produce around 1,500 cases of sauce a day. They make 5 seasonings and 4 different flavors of sauce. This past October, they celebrated 75 years in business. Our coverage tonight here from KC is just getting fired up. When we come on back, James Grant is going to join us. He ran into some Chiefs fans, some Jags fans, and We'll see if any of them were talking smack. Where's my Ready to Roar music at, Director Tyler? We're back after this timeout.